It's late winter and there aren't any leaves on the trees yet, so it's not very green except for a few spots on the forest floor. While walking in a park in southwest Michigan, I came across a green patch of a really interesting plant. Let's take a look. So there's a patch of shining club moss, or sometimes known as shining fir moss, here growing on the slopes. Club mosses get their name from a little capsule, usually at the tip of the plant, that bears spores. But shining fir moss is a little bit different. It can grow in these clumps because it spreads by some interesting strategies. First of all, it can spread by underground rhizomes, and each stalk can get to be about 8 to 10 inches tall, but oftentimes they flop over a little bit, and this time of year they're often kind of covered up by some of the leaves, so it's hard to tell how tall they are. Another way that this particular club moss reproduces is by little capsules called sporangia that grow at the base of the leaves and then release spores, usually in late summer or early fall. But one other interesting way for this plant to spread is by gemme, and those are little tiny, almost bud-like structures. Sometimes in some plants they're single cells, sometimes multiple cells that fragment off of the plant and drop down and then sprout up as a new plant. The spore system takes the longest, and in many cases for shining club moss and other club mosses, it might take 20 years for a plant to grow to be able to be a reproductive plant. Because of that, club mosses like shining fir moss are protected in Michigan. Their growth is very, very slow, so they cannot be transplanted, sold, etc. in Michigan as a protected species. If you look very closely, if you have a hand lens, the leaves are tinier at the base of the stalk and then a little bit longer towards the tip, and very, very fine teeth can be seen on parts of the leaves, but you got to look really, really closely. Shining fir moss gets its name for its beautiful shiny leaves and bright green color that we can often spot in the woods, especially in late winter. Club mosses are really fascinating. They differ from regular moss, that common moss that we might think of, in that regular moss or common mosses don't have true roots or stems, but club mosses do. So that's how they differ. Fun to look for if you're in a dappled, sunny woods, often on a slope, sometimes near a wetland, but they do require acidic soil and very rich soil, lots of humus, so that they have nutrients to grow. Take a look if you're in the right habitat for club moss. Remember, you can find your own outdoor elements when you visit area parks and natural areas. We'll see you soon.